So we are going to talk about two different types of angle pairs. An angle pair has to have how many angles in it? You have a pair of shoes. How many shoes do you have? Two. Okay, so a pair of angles is two angles. The first one we are going to talk about is complementary. Okay, you see that word up there, complementary angles? That's also the first word we're going to fill in. Complementary angles are angles who add up or have a sum of 90 degrees. Two angles who add up to equal 90 degrees. That's what complementary means. Okay, two angles that add up to be 90 degrees. If you look at your picture down there, one angle is 23, the other angle is 67. If I add those, that gives me 90. That means angle TRS and angle SRQ are complementary angles because they add up to equal 90. Right, Myron? Myron. The other pair of angles is called supplementary. Okay. Supplementary angles are two angles who have a sum of 180. Two angles who add up to equal 180 degrees. Supplementary. Okay, you have to remember the difference between complementary and supplementary. Okay, complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. If you look at the two angles they gave us here, DEF is 110, GHJ is 70. If I add those, that gives me 180, which means they are supplementary. Anybody have any questions there? What does complementary mean? They add up to be 90. Supplementary means they add up to be 180. All right. And those are just four different examples of numbers. 30 and 60 add up to be 90, so they're complementary. 135 and 145 add up to be 180, so they are supplementary. Okay, so let's take a look at that first example. We're going to have a lot of little word problems in this type, so we have to make sure we remember the difference, first of all, between complementary and supplementary, and we pay attention to what to do there. So read that first one. Find the measure of two complementary angles. Okay, that means they add up to be what? Complementary adds up to be 90. Okay, so find the measure of two complementary angles if the measure of the larger angle is 5 more than 4 times the measure of the smaller angle. Okay, let's say that again. The measure of the larger angle is 5 more than 4 times the measure of the smaller angle. Does that make a little bit of sense? A lot of words that don't make sense.
Do you need a calculator for this?
Possibly. Is everybody ready? What do we know about complementary angles? They add up to be 90. So I don't know a whole lot about either of these two angles, do I? Other than that little bit of information they just told me. So I am going to take a minute and I'm trying to think of the best way we can do this. So we have the first angle, we're going to call it X. Okay. The second angle, if it's complementary, okay, let me scratch that. Let me think about it this way. So if I gave you, if I told you an angle was 40 degrees, how would you figure out what its complementary angle would be?
It'll have to be 50.
Why would it be 50?
Because it gotta be 90.
Right, okay, but how did you figure that in your head? How did you go from 40 to 50? What did you do?
Add, subtract.
Subtract. You took the 90, right?
Yes.
Minus the 40?
It had to be 50. Gotta be.
Right, it is 50, okay. But what I'm trying to get you to think of is how you figure out what the angle would be. You have your one angle that we don't know, that's x, okay? So how would I represent the second one that's complementary? It would be 90 minus,
40.
yeah, but we're calling 40x now.
X.
Okay, so one angle is x. The other angle is 90 minus x, yes? So all I did was represent my two angles. I don't know what they are. Are we ready? We got to go through our words again. It says the larger angle is. Okay, so I'm going to let my green one be my larger angle. Okay, so my larger angle, what does is mean in a word problem? What mathematical symbol would be is? Equals. Okay, so my larger one is, whoa. The next part says 5 more than. How do you represent 5 more than? So 5 plus, right? And then it's 4 times the smaller angle. Okay, the smaller angle is going to be this one. So I would do 4 times, how did I represent my smaller angle? 90, not just 90, but 90. I blue highlighted it. 90 minus x. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, we let the x be our larger angle. So x is, that's what equal is, 5 more than, that's 5 plus 4 times the smaller angle. The smaller angle is not the larger one, so the 90 minus x. And I don't have a lot of room up there to do the work, so we're going to do it on the board. If I wanted to solve that equation, what do I do first? I need to distribute, yeah. I got to multiply here before I can do anything else because multiplying comes before addition. This x is in parentheses, so I can't move it yet. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute. So we're going to multiply that. 4 times 90 is 360. And 4 times negative x is negative 4x. All right. Now I'm going to combine my like terms before I keep going. 5 and 360 is 365. Not subtract. To move this 4 over here, what do I do? Add it, yep. What's 1x plus 4x? 5x. 1 plus 4? Right. Everybody okay so far? We're good? Okay. All right, then I need to divide by 5. So x is equal to, let's see, and it goes in 73. Is that right? So one of my angles is, guess what? How many degrees? 73 degrees. So, give me just a second. Yeah. All right, so we solved and we found out that x is 73, right? So I got to find the other angle. How do I do that? Subtract it from 90. So 90 minus 73 is going to equal what, 17? So my answers, my two angles, sorry, it's coming up in just a second, are 73 and 17. Everybody ready? Does that one kind of make a little bit of sense? Not really. All right. The next one says the difference between the measures of two supplementary angles. Okay, supplementary angles. So what we want to do first is just let's represent our angles. One of them would be x because I don't know what it is. And if they are supplementary, how would I represent the second one? 180 minus x, yes. Just like we did up here, we did our first one as x, and our second one was 90 minus x because they were complementary. These two are supplementary, so one's going to be x, and one's going to be 180 minus x. Everybody good? Sure, okay. Let's read through our equation. It says the difference between the two supplementary angles. What does it mean when I say the difference between? What do we do? Subtract. So I'm going to take that first one, that x that I called it, minus my second angle. However, how many parts does that second angle have to it that I'm circling right now? How many parts does it have? 2. So when I subtract, I need to put both of them in parentheses. And what does it say their difference is? Their difference is 18. So that means equals 18. Okay. One angle minus its supplementary angle is 18. Is everybody following me so far? Okay. This equation up here had parentheses. What did we do first? Distribute. Let me ask you this question. What number's in front of this parenthesis behind the minus sign? A 1. So we are going to distribute that. X is going to stay. We're distributing that as a negative 1, which would turn that to a minus 180 and a plus x. And then I want to show you something after we finish with this. Combine your like terms. What's 1x plus 1x? 2x. So I have 2x minus 180 equals 18. We're going to add 180 over. Sorry, I'm running out of room over here. That's going to give me 2x equals, what is that, 198? We're going to divide both sides by 2. And x is going to equal, let's see, that goes in 99. Thank you. So if x is 99, then to find the other one, I just do 180 minus 99, which gives me how much? 81. So my two angles are 99 and 81. Over here, okay, so starting where I'm highlighting right here in yellow, I had 2x minus 180 equals 18. You see that? All right, then I added the 180 to both sides right here, and I ended up with this. The 2x equals 198.
Can't you just do 180 plus 18 from the beginning? Like without doing all that stuff? Or you can't just keep it like that?
I mean, you need to keep it where your non-variables are on one side of the equal sign and your variables are on the other. Is everybody okay with that? Now, I want to show you something different. What if I would have...
That's like that, Miss Bridges, no? No, you can't do that. See what I'm saying? Like 180 plus like 18 plus in the margin. And then just divide by 2 so you get 2 angles.
Well, how did you know there was 2 of them? Because there are 2 angles? It might not work that way all the time. It might have just looked out that way. But what I do want to show you is this. What if I switched the order? What if I took my second angle minus my first angle? My second angle is 180 minus x, correct? And then I subtracted my first angle and set that equal to 18. Do you think we're going to get the same answer? Let's take a look. What's negative 1 plus negative 1? Negative If I want to get this -2 by itself, how do I move this 180 to the other side? We subtract that. So I get -2x equals all right. No, 172. No, 162. Okay. And then if I divide by -2, that gives me 81, and then I would go 180 minus 81 and still get 99, right? So either way, I get both answers. Hold on just a second. Hold on, I'm trying to make a decision here.